Hello everyone and welcome back for another edition of 8 Minutes with Aaron. I'm of course your host Aaron, and today we're going to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw that took place in my hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Xfinity Center. Well, let's get rolling with a fresh edition of this guy right here, Aaron. Well, you can tell by my shock, I had no idea that they named it the Xfinity Center, but we got to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw. And it started off with Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman all coming down to the ring, and Paul Heyman getting on the mic and talking about how he is an ECW legend and a legend in general in Philadelphia. They should build a statue for him. He is a GOAT, but he is not the only GOAT right here because he has one right here, pointing to, of course, Seth Rollins. Before Seth Rollins can get onto the mic and speak to the crowd, Jey Uso came and cut him off and said, "Yeet, yeet, yeet." Well, Seth Rollins did not like that and said, "Listen, if you want to yeet me, you're going to have a match tonight against Braun Breaker." And then he started talking shit about Braun Breaker's family, just to get him riled up so he hated Jey Uso. And Paul Heyman did like an ECW shout out and said it is going to be an Extreme Rules match. Great, I'm excited for that, and you will be later as I explain it later. Because first, we're getting into our first match of the night. It was Raquel Rodriguez with Roxanne Perez versus Io Sky. Last week, Io Sky lost to Roxanne Perez after some little, I don't want to say interference, but some distraction by the Kabuki Warriors. This week, she said before she went out to the Kabuki Warriors, "Don't come out, I got this shit." And Asuka said, "You got it, girl." And then Io Sky proceeded to go out, and even though she was getting a little bit of her ass handed to her by Raquel Rodriguez in the beginning because she's just strong and her offensive is on point, Io Sky picked up the victory with the boon over Sky. 1, 2, 3. And after the match, here comes in Roxanne Perez to beat the shit out of Io Sky. And who came down? It was Rhea Ripley. She came down to a massive pop. Everyone loves this girl. Rolled into the ring, cleared the ring, and that was about it. And when we came back from the commercial break, we saw the Kabuki Warriors bitching at Io Sky and Rhea Ripley for interfering because they said, "Hey, don't come down, blah, 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 blah." This match is definitely going to get a because I like Io Sky and she is fantastic in the ring. And Raquel Rodriguez, let me tell you, you're doing some great work here. All right, the next match we had was Xavier Woods, who came down with Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller versus Penta. Penta did his little zero, miro, crip walk on the way to the ring, and Xavier Woods lost the match after Penta hit a Penta driver for the 1, 2, 3. Next week, he's going to face Xavier Woods. I lied. He's going to face Kofi Kingston because that's who he beat tonight. Anyway, this match is going to get a down. I wasn't really into it. New Day has been very lackluster in the last recent months, even winning the tag titles and then losing it. Still ain't doing it for me. And then we had the next match was a World Tag Team title match out of the blue. I guess it's because there's a AAA event going on in a couple weeks, so Worlds Collide. It was the Judgment Day with Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana. Now, Mr. Iguana comes out with this La Liescha. It's a little iguana thing that uses like Mr. Sacco. Make a long story short, after some interference by Dominic Mysterio, who got the win? Judgment Day with Finn Balor with a coup de grace on Dragon Lee. 1, 2, 3. I'm giving this match a down because it had this green iguana shit, and I'm not a really big fan of them. If you are a fan of the green iguana, terrific. I also like Legends of the Hidden Temple, but not in my wrestling. There was that one dude, El Viking Generico, who's a AAA champion. He came down to the ring, beat the shit out of Dominic Mysterio because they're going to have a match for the title where Dominic could walk away with 2 belts. But if he's still in the program with AJ Styles, I'm sure AJ Styles is going to cause him the match because he cost him the match in a Fatal 4-Way that they had earlier that week or some shit. Did I give this match a down yet? Well, I'm giving it a down. And then we have our women's can't even spit that shit out. Our women's intercontinental title match. Becky Lynch versus Natalya. Natalya is getting a shot at the title because last week she had a match against Maxine Dupree, and Becky Lynch beat the shit out of her, disarm her, tap, tap, tap. And Natalya, of course, got her arm fucked up, and Becky Lynch took advantage of it. Tap, tap, tap. She tapped out. Then you had freaking Maxine Dupree trying to save her, and then Maxine Dupree got into the disarmor by Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was just murdering everybody, and then Tozawa tried to get in the ring and do some shit. I don't know what Tozawa tried to do, but I can't remember, so I'm just throwing this paper. But yeah, match, little Downaruski. Then we had a segment that I'm gonna say this was a good segment. But it is sad for the women's division because we lost a great champion. We lost Naomi because she is pregnant, and she said in 9 months, whoever is holding that title better proceed with caution because I am coming after you. She actually did a pretty fucking good promo. At first, you know, she thought she was going to be like, thank you, everybody. And then she was like, yo, fuck you, everybody. You're assholes. And yeah, you're lucky as shit. You can't face me. You got 9 months to train. And, you know, did a little sexual innuendos with Jimmy Uso's name and shit like that. So, it was entertaining. I gotta say, it's getting an up, even though I don't give a lot of segments ups or downs. And then Bayley had a segment where she's kind of going like crazy. Just reminded me of the Wyatts. Wasn't a big fan. My girl Bayley, you are unfortunately getting a down on your segment. Wasn't a big fan. And at Clash in Paris, we are going to have a third and final match between Sheamus and Rusev. That's it. Third match, Clash in Paris. Adam Pearce was pissed as fuck. His face was red and bright, and he wasn't having it, folks. He was not pleased at all. And then finally, let's just go into it, folks. The main event. The Extreme Rules match. Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker. Now, I'm not going to use this paper. I'm just going to tell you straight up, they had a lot of tables used and a lot of chairs used. Now, not like swinging the chair and smacking you. It was basically lined on the ground and they missed him completely. There was a Frankensteiner, you know, that Bron Breakker does. Jey Uso got a couple of spears, almost got a splash win. But of course, you got Bronson Reed who came down. And there's no DQ, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He actually pulled off the ref's shoe, which was actually a little funny. A little, hey, Roman Reigns, I took off this dude's shoe. And then once he came down, you had LA Knight. LA Knight rolled into the ring. And then, of course, you had Seth Rollins, who then came down to the ring. Then you got CM Punk coming down. Everyone's cheering for CM Punk, singing his song. They're fighting left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And then they fall out of the ring. They spill out to the outside. CM Punk accidentally hits LA Knight. LA Knight goes through a table. That's it, folks. LA Knight's dead for the entirety of the rest of the night. And then they roll out into the crowd. And then who comes out? That's right. DOTC, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes down to the ring. He does a little spear on the Braun. He does a Superman punch to Breaker. Or the other way around. Or some shit like that. Actually, it was that way. Let's say it was like that. Throws in Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker gets a splash by Uso through a table. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso picks up the victory, and they stand tall. And then Roman Reigns announced that at Clash in Paris, he will be facing Bronson Reed for the Shuafala, or the 2 shoes that he wears around his neck. But other than that, that's all I got for you, folks. And my tag was itching the back of my neck, but since I just came back from VogueFest, I thought it was a bug. Anyway, my name is Aaron. Thank you for joining me with Amos Theron. That sumbitch is getting it up. I will see you next time when we talk about more stuff, more things, and of course, more of me. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.